Hello, my name is Petra Deerdorf, and I am making this video as a warning to Earth based on my recent findings while attending University of Mars. I've been living on Mars for about 3 months now, and just recently, as part of our studies, we have started visiting other planets. Well, a few days back, we go to this planet a couple galaxies away, and whenever we get there, we take a scan just to see what the conditions are before we land, just to make sure that it's safe. And so we find that this planet is about 50% water, and it has an atmosphere with breathable air. And the main issue is just that it was a bit on the hotter side, like around 130 Fahrenheit. So we have heat resistant suits. So ultimately we decide that it is safe for us to land. And so we land the ship, and as soon as we touch the surface, we are swarmed by aliens, which I have always suspected that they existed. And it's a big reason of why I decided to go to University of Mars. They told me I was crazy. They told me I was insane. Well, who's paranoid now, Dad? Anyway, but so we're being swarmed by these aliens. And so we send some armed guys out just to see what was going on, try to figure out if we're in danger. And so they come back a few minutes later and they tell us that these creatures, not only do they speak, but they speak English. And so we go out and we start talking to them. And then they tell us that apparently a good few years back, there was another person who came and they crash landed there. And then they were stranded there. But anyway, this guy's name was Chad. And Chad lived there for a long time, and he kind of took over as something of a god to them. To the point where he named their star Chad. And the creatures, who I guess are okay with it, call themselves Chad Juniors. So these creatures, they are about 3 feet tall, and they mostly live in the water. It's kind of like a dolphin situation where they hold their breath or something. I do have an image of them. I say image, but they didn't let us take a photo, but one of them did let me draw him, just because they're really shy. But I warn you, this may be disturbing to see. So this is Chad Jr. They have bat wings, kind of. It's connected. And they're able to fly in and out of the water. This is his blowhole, like a dolphin. And he has the brightly colored pattern. This is a male Chad Jr. To attract females. And then he also has little pores, it's basically to secrete sweat to keep them cool in their hot comet. But they definitely are intelligent life. I say intelligent sparingly. I'd say around the maturity of a third grader. Probably why they got along so well with Chad. Although the Chad Juniors are not my main concern and not the main point of the video. Although it is disconcerting that they were able to be so heavily influenced by Chad. But thankfully Chad just liked your mom jokes, so he was fine. My main concern is actually about what happened after we had returned back to University of Mars. So we tell our main professor, Lerps, what happened. And then he decides that he's going to take us on some trip. And so he takes us to a different planet where there are a bunch of other Lerpses. Which we had thought that Lerps was a robot. So immediately jarring experience to see a bunch of him. And then he tells us that they share one conscience. I've seen Stranger Things. I know how this ends. I do not feel safe. Especially with knowing Lerps. Not a fan. Not a fan of the guy. So the idea that there are a bunch of them. Oh yeah, and then whenever we leave, our Lerps just stays there, and then they just hand us another one. I'm like, oh, well, it's the same thing. we gotta take care of this. Anyway, that's my video. Thank you.